The call came at 2:17 p.m. "Mr. Hale, this is Nurse Turner. You need to come to the school immediately. It's about your son." Her voice was trembling. I've heard that tone before, once, in Kandahar, over the radio, when we lost communications with a convoy. That same quiet panic, trying not to break. When I got there, Ben was sitting on the cot, a bruise blooming beneath his right eye, his hands trembling like he'd been electrocuted. He looked up when I entered. The relief in his face cut me open. "Dad," he whispered, "I went home for lunch. Mom was with Uncle Steve." His uncle. My brother. He swallowed hard. When I tried to leave, he slammed my face into the door, locked me in my room. I jumped from the window. He looked at me then, really looked. "They're still there, Dad." That was the moment everything inside me went quiet, like someone hit a switch. Emily and I had been married 12 years. She laughed easily, loved fiercely, or so I thought. Steve was my older brother, charismatic, irresponsible, the kind of man who could ruin a life and smile through it. I used to defend him, every time. When the marriage began to crack, it wasn't loud, it was slow, like paint peeling. Late nights at work, a phone turned screen down, perfume I didn't recognize. I caught them once, almost. Steve's truck outside her house when he borrowed it for the weekend. Her nervous laugh when I mentioned it. The dots were there, I just refused to connect them. Because if I did, I'd have to admit my son's mother and my own brother had built a world behind my back. The day Ben told me the truth, I didn't raise my voice, didn't comfort him with lies. I just nodded and said, "Okay, you're safe now." Then I made 2 calls, one to a friend at Child Protective Services, another to an old contact from my military days, a private investigator named Brooks. I gave him 2 names, 1 address, and said, "I need everything." By morning, I had it. Hotel receipts, texts, videos. Steve had been visiting the house during my custody weekends. Emily lied to the court, saying I was unstable, dangerous. Steve was feeding her information about my finances, my schedule, even my lawyer. They'd planned to push for full custody. I read every message twice. Then I planned. Revenge isn't rage. Rage is sloppy. Revenge is patience in motion. I started by moving money, quietly, legally. The joint account we shared for Ben's expenses, I transferred it into a trust under his name, inaccessible to her without my consent. I changed locks, filed an emergency custody modification, and submitted the PI's evidence. Next, I called my brother. Calmly. "Need to talk," I said. "Come by the house tomorrow. Just you." He came, of course. Arrogance always does. When he stepped inside, he grinned that same easy grin he used to get away with everything since childhood. "Look, man, I know how it looks." I cut him off. "You hit my son." He blinked. "That's not." "Say it again," I whispered. He stammered something about misunderstanding, about how Ben was acting out. I just watched him. When silence stretched too long, he started sweating. I didn't move toward him, didn't raise my voice. I simply turned my phone, showing him the video feed. Emily's face, his voice, the slam of a door, Ben crying. Recorded from the camera I'd installed outside my son's window months ago, back when I first felt something was wrong. Steve froze. Then I told him exactly what would happen next. He'd drive to the police station, confess to assaulting a minor. He'd plead guilty, waive the right to a lawyer, and tell them everything about his relationship with Emily. If he didn't, I'd release the footage to every contact he had, his boss, his girlfriend, his church. He left shaking. By dawn, the police had him. Emily called that night. I let it ring until the voicemail caught. Her voice was frantic, trembling. She said she didn't know what Steve had done, that she was as shocked as anyone. Then she started crying. I deleted the message. The next day I met her in court. She looked smaller somehow. Makeup couldn't hide the panic. When my lawyer presented the evidence, affair, neglect, abuse, her expression collapsed. She tried to look at me, but I didn't give her the satisfaction. The judge granted me full custody on the spot. She lost the house, the car, and visitation rights pending investigation. When it was over, she whispered, "You ruined me." I finally met her eyes. "No," I said, "you did that yourself." Now, every morning I pack Ben's lunch and drive him to school. He laughs again. Sometimes he asks about his mom, and I tell him the truth. People make choices, and choices make consequences. At night, after he sleeps, I sit by the window watching the quiet street. There's no satisfaction in what I did, only balance restored. He touched my son. That was the last mistake he ever made.